Well, I didn't start out by wanting to be a composer. I always loved music, but I thought that was going to just be part of my life, not my life. And I started out in medical school. And it so happens that in Edinburgh, the medical school is adjacent to the music school. And I found myself always going into the music school to see what was happening. And one day I thought, we better discuss what's going on here. And so in the end I made the change over to the music school. And you live once, you might as well do what you really love. This bit, it used to be a bit more lonely.
Yes, more plaintive. Yeah.
Tired, I've lost it.
Yeah.
They're playing just fragments. So just not too decisive.
Yeah, sure.
Just, I know it's meant to feel, but just... Edinburgh was wonderful to study in the music school because there were actually very few of us. It was a very small faculty, and there were wonderful people on it. First of all, there was Mary Grierson, who wrote the biography of Tovey, and so I really got to know everything that he said. There was also Hans Gall, who Tovey had brought over in the 30s, so we had that European connection. But Tovey was a great influence on me. I think I read absolutely everything that he ever wrote. And the idea of, one idea that I really liked was this idea of long-term harmonic planning. Just how you span things, the relationship of big chunks of music to each other and how long they should be and what key contrast. It's rather technical, and it's there. It's like the foundations of a house. When you go into a house, I don't really notice about that, but if they're not there, the house would fall down. So the same in music, the sort of basic structure of the thing is so important, and I don't know that listeners need to bother about that. They probably listen more to the surface of things and the emotional things, and that's fine, but the structure has to be there for the other to work.
Most Scottish audiences will probably remember your opera on Mary Queen of Scots for Scottish Opera, and drama and narrative are very important components of all your work.
I think it usually always has to be about some sort of conflict, whether it's a love conflict or war conflict or whatever, some sort of conflict going on, and how you build the scenes to do that. I've just met the Scottish Ensemble for the first time. I have met the leader before. And it's been a revelation. They are simply fabulous. This is a piece of green, and of course there's no conflict in the instruments. They're all stringed instruments. It's 12 string instrument, so playing more or less in a semicircle. The conflict is between two different kinds of forces. So the one is what I'm going to call E major, and that's how the piece starts. Rather bland, quite simple, rather naive, but it has feeling and it has tunes, melodies, and goes along for a certain time, and then all of a sudden double bass comes in and a low F, which of course is a big discord because it's just a semitone away from the major key. And he's rather rude. He comes in very loudly, and the others stop short. They're interrupted. So it's a dramatic moment. And then they start to play very tentatively, and then they get back. But every now and again the double bass interrupts, and each time he interrupts and brings some people with him. Now, what double bass is doing is not melodic, not tuneful. He doesn't care. He has no feelings like the E major people who can be passionate or nervous or surprised or all those human emotions. The double bass people, basically, they change pitch, but it basically always comes back to an F, and it's often a tremolo. So it's just a presence, And the presence is kind of implacable, even though sometimes it's soft, like a fog or a mist. You can't wave it away. It's there, and there's nothing you can do to fight it. Though the E major people do try to fight it. And so those are my two forces. So the double bass people build up. The E major people protest in various ways, sometimes a solo violin, sometimes a solo viola, the solo cello, all in turn. They get very passionate at times. Double bass is inexorable. And at the very end, all that's left after a big double bass chord is one solo violin on a solo E. So he is the discord against the F of the double bass because he's got the majority with him. So I don't know what that final E is, whether it's a last gasp of despair or whether it's just a distant voice of hope. And I asked the leader, I said, I don't know what you're going to do there, but these are my thoughts, and so you see how you interpret it. Oh, I think I'm a very emotional, passionate musician. I hope so.